And welcome to this brand new edition of The Take. I'm your host, Kendra Dix, for February 1st, 2017. Can you believe it? We're in the second month of the year, my favorite month of the year, as always, because we got 6 more days until my own birthday comes around. And so, I wish my birthday was on The Take, a big birthday gift for me. Happy birthday to me. I'm like, whatever, no birthday party for you. Just get to the big story. And we got to do that right now. Let's get to the big story. The big story of the week is Mr. McMahon. You know who he is, Vince McMahon. But everybody in the WWE universe know who he is. Mr. McMahon, to some claim, wants to resurrect the Extreme Football League. And he wants to launch it in 2020. So they give him an ample enough time in 2 years to get this right and make sure the XFL will not be a failure or flop like it did before, like almost 17, 18 years ago. So McMahon looks at it like that. But here's what Mr. McMahon had to say about this. Take a watch.
The new XFL will kick off in 2020, and quite frankly, we're going to give the game of football back to fans. I'm sure everyone has a lot of questions for me, but I also have a lot of questions for you. In fact, we're going to ask a lot of questions and listen to players, coaches. We're going to listen to medical experts, technology executives, members of the media, and anyone else who understands and loves the game of football. But most importantly, we're going to be listening to fans.
Oh, the XFL is returning. The XFL season opening with the NFL is dropping down ratings, and fans are disapproving the NFL with their stance of their players taking a knee down. Mr. McMahon saying all his players will have to stand up and take the national anthem. Well, like I said, the NFL is not the same as it used to be. But he stated that the XFL is going to be more stronger, more faster. No half times, nothing like that. It's going to be a faster game, a fast-paced game that you never seen before. Would that mean what? No more cheerleaders? All right, back to you, McMahon.
Okay, thank you. Take our next question from Chris Palmieri with Bloomberg News.
Hello, Chris.
Yeah, hi, Vince. Can you say if the controversy about bending knee and the rating slump that the NFL has had played a role in your thinking about launching this now?
No, I've always wanted to relaunch and have this planned for some time.
And if I could just follow up, why are you not doing it this time through the WWE?
Quite frankly, $100 million to start with is a little too rich for WWE as far as investment's concerned.
And we'll take our next question from Paul Newberry with the Associated Press.
Hello, Paul.
Hey, Vince. Hi. I assume this will be sort of the same time frame you mentioned out of season. I assume a spring league with a similar time frame as the original XFL?
Well, it won't be a spring league. It'll start end of January, early February and play through. It won't, not exactly a spring league.
Okay.
And we'll take our next question from Neil Best with Newsday.
Hello, Neil.
Mr. McMahon naming names like former NFL stars that was prominent, and now they don't even have no jobs no more. The NFL ain't even looking at them. Tim Tebow, Colin Kaepernick, and Johnny Manziel. Could you play this? Oh, Johnny Manziel was so hopeful that he found out when Mr. McMahon said this. Oh man, you got no criminal. You got. If you have a criminal record, you can't play XFL football. So Johnny Manziel has a criminal record because he had DUI and domestic violence charges. Man, Johnny Manziel football dreams are crushed, as you see right there on the little Twitter thing. Ooh, he don't even have a chance to play football. And you want to play football. But let's see what the critics say about the XFL. Take a look.
Great percentage. Politics being involved, the game softening, stars not on the field, something like that. Those are all the things he addressed. He addressed, except for that last one, by the way, which we can come back to, he addressed having a politics-free league. And you read that as being political. You read an attempt to be free of politics as political. And I'm here to tell you, I don't think that's how people are going to read it. They're going to go, yeah, you know what? I want my sports free of that stuff. I want my entertainment free.
But you know what, Will? But that's exactly what I'm talking about. The way you see it and the way other people see it, that instead you're not getting the whole pie. You're just getting a little sliver of the pie because you see it one way, I see it another way. So that's what I'm talking about in this situation.
Well, the question is, Damien. The question is, which one of our views of how big of that piece of pie is a successful business? And I'm here to tell you, I think there's an opening, there's vulnerabilities with the NFL, and Vince McMahon is the guy to find a successful business with those vulnerabilities.
They're not looking for that. This is another league.
Let's be clear about what I said. I didn't say the XFL is going to replace the NFL. I didn't say in 5 years or at 2022,
you said they
2 years
be
into
worried.
the project. Yeah, that's right. So good.
They
We're on the
shouldn't be
same
worried.
terms. Let me explain to you something. I understand very well that the NFL is the iceberg. It's the glacier. It's the massive brand. And I have argued on this program and others that it is under no threat, for example, from the NBA. It's got such a huge leaping advantage that games in October outrate the NBA Finals. I recognize all that. But that's not what worry is. Worry and threat don't mean does the glacier crumble like that. It doesn't mean does somebody replace you. It means does it erode. And let me tell you something. Erosion
How's
is
it going to
entertainment
erode
choices.
when they aren't even playing the games at the same time of year?
I'm going to tell you.
Their season starts in February.
Man, oh man. Mr. McMahon cannot get a break all the time. They always saying that he's going to flop again. Well, you know, if you taking that money, you could have just brought the Carolina Panthers, Mr. McMahon, since you was born in Carolina. Well, I'm glad you ain't buying them. So one day when I kind of build my credit and my capital up, I want to buy the Panthers. I'm putting it out there right now. I'm gonna buy the Panthers. I'm saying I'm buying. But Mr. McMahon has an incredible empire. Look at what he done with WWE. He took WWE as a North regional region and went around the country and grabbed all the country stars and put them along under his umbrella and made the World Wrestling Federation what it is today. And now it's WWE as it stands. World Wrestling Entertainment. Big up props to Mr. McMahon. And let's see how this goes, because Mr. McMahon loves a fight. It's like the XFL is an underdog again on the NFL. And it got some opening because the NFL kind of like stagnant, losing ratings. So let's see if Mr. McMahon can pull this one off, because XFL was the mistress that he liked, but he couldn't leave without. So let's see how this goes with the XFL. Speaking of Mr. McMahon's friend, many of you didn't know that President Trump and Mr. McMahon had a close working relationship in the 80s, and Trump helped McMahon with Trump Plaza to get WrestleMania up what it is today, as the global phenomenon that it is today. Well, our beloved president did his first State of the Union speech, and you tell me how he did. Watch this.
His first official State of the Union address, it was an upbeat, positive President Trump.
The state of our union is strong because our people are strong.
Boasted about an American comeback.
For many years, companies and jobs were only leaving us. But now they are roaring back. They're coming back. They want to be where the action is. They want to be in the United States of America. That's where they want to be.
And he highlighted low unemployment numbers for minorities.
African American unemployment stands at the lowest rate ever recorded. And Hispanic American unemployment has also reached the lowest levels in history.
Democrats just weren't buying it. They spent most of the night sitting silently, even as the president called for bipartisanship and unity.
We all share the same home, the same heart, the same destiny, and the same great American flag. We proudly stand for the national anthem.
The president laid out his priorities for the year, some clearly designed to appeal to Democrats.
I've directed my administration to make fixing the injustice of high drug prices one of my top priorities. I am asking both parties to come together to give us safe, fast, reliable, and modern infrastructure.
In making his pitch for his immigration proposal, the president highlighted the horrific plight of two families whose teenage daughters were killed by the criminal gang MS-13.
Many of these gang members took advantage of glaring loopholes in our laws to enter the country as illegal, unaccompanied, alien minors.
But the specifics of his plan to protect dreamers and tighten border security drew hisses and boos from Democrats.
Under the current broken system, a single immigrant can bring in virtually unlimited numbers of distant relatives. Under our plan,
and as Congress debates the fate of the so-called dreamers, President Trump had this message.
My duty and the sacred duty of every elected official in this chamber is to defend Americans, to protect their safety, their families, their communities, and their right to the American dream. Because Americans are dreamers too.
The president took a hard line on North Korea, highlighting the repressiveness of Kim Jong-un's regime with the story of this man, a North Korean defector who was tortured and had his limbs amputated before he managed to escape the brutal regime.
Today he has a new leg, but Sung-ho, I understand you still keep those old crutches as a reminder.
Man, he talking about optimism. He wants to see some optimism in your country. But when you're in the United States and then your approval rating is down below almost 30%, how optimistic can you be when the whole country hates you, the whole country hates your policies, and they hate you as a person, either because you're rich, you kind of you bully, and you kind of say how you mean it, and the country just can't handle you. So hey, he went off topic, off script. It's like he takes this like a reality show, like he like the reality show Apprentice, the Washington Apprentice, starring Donald Trump. Who's next to get fired? You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. Man, you're fired. All right. In celebrity news, New Jack City hosted. It's not New Jack City. What the fuck I'm talking about? New York City. Get it right, Kendrick. Get it right. Get it right. You know better than that. I know better than that. In celebrity news, New York City hosted the 60th annual Grammy Awards. Yes. And people was all decked out in style. Well, the red carpet had these highlights from Camila. Oh my God, Camila, the woman who sang Havana. That song so catchy. From Everybody Sia. Just take a look and see for yourself. Look at the highlights.
Your mother, she gave you some advice. Mom gave you the advice that you should prepare or expect the worst in going this path, being a solo artist. Was that good advice? And if so, why?
Yeah, because I feel like if you ever make your motive success or numbers, then that's not really the right motive of doing things. So she told me, imagine you flop, nobody cares, things don't work out, do you still want to do this? And I was like, yeah, absolutely, because the point was just me getting to make music, and people connecting with it is really just a bonus.
Where is she? Mom, you're supposed to wait for your daughter. It's music speak. It's not. I'm Ryan. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Nice to see you.
So shy.
Oh, you get shy? Where were you going?
I was always in the corner hiding.
Oh, really? Oh, so, well, we just wanted to say you must be an amazing mother because she is so fantastic. She's talented and she's a good person.
For a mom, that's the best compliment ever.
Do you have any advice for any of us?
I can give you my phone number. You can text me.
My mom and my granny are here with me.
Where's Mom and Granny? Oh, Mom and Granny. Hi. Hi, guys. You must be so proud. Nice to see y'all. Perfect wave. They're all dolled up. I can tell they leave the house every once in a while, right?
My mom is queen of leaving the house.
All the young women out there watching right now who want to be standing where you are standing.
You could be here. I was born in Brooklyn, raised in Staten Island, and I remember somebody telling me I would never be anything. Nobody would pick up my calls, and then I wrote The Monster, and the phone started ringing. I almost cursed, and here I am, and I can't believe it. My mom's right there. She's crying. It's like a whole thing.
Hi, Mom.
Hi.
How are you? Nice to meet you. We love you. Oh, sorry. Thank you. How proud are you of your little girl? Amazing. How proud?
I hate when you see me on camera.
Tell us something wonderful about your daughter that maybe the world doesn't know quite yet. Something you know as her mom.
She's very generous and very caring and loving.
I love it. Yes. Look who I have, Cardi B joining me. Oh my God, I've been dying to talk to you. How are you?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling nervous, overwhelmed, everything.
You feel it all right now.
I feel it all, butterfly in my stomach and vagina.
Everybody was out in style. I mean, everybody was out in style. I mean, out. Even Beyonce and Jay-Z were here. But did you notice on the telecast that you didn't see? Take a little watch. Beyonce and Jay-Z and Blue Ivy were in attendance at the Grammy Awards, but Blue Ivy had to get them both together and say, "Hey, shh," she had to get between her parents and like, ooh, is a commotion going on within her ear, and they talking on their breath. Blue Ivy took a page from Mommy's and Daddy's playbook with a 99 problems, but ain't one hit me. And had to tell them say her name. You know, on this around you, say baby. Ooh, my God. Ooh. Well, wait a minute. What are you doing here on the tape?
I just found out.
Okay, Monique. We'll talk about it later. What? One of the sites supporting you? Okay. That's good to know. All right, Monique. We'll catch you later. Bye. All right. When we return on the tape, we're gonna have more. So stay with us. This is the tape. What? To the take. I'm your host, Kendra Diggs. All right, let's get to the political rundown. Now, everyone knows President Trump has been questioned about the Russian probe. Would he take an interview with Robert Mueller, the man who's doing the special counsel? And the president keeps dodging reporters' questions until now. Just take a look what the president had to say about that.
And prosperity. You think you're going to be received well here? Are you going to be received well? I already am. Look, you take a look. You tell me.
An honor to be with Prime Minister May. We've had a great discussion. We're on the same wavelength in, I think, every respect. The Prime Minister and myself have had a really great relationship, although some people don't necessarily believe that, but I can tell you it's true. I have a tremendous respect for the Prime Minister and the job she's doing, and I think the feeling is mutual from the standpoint of liking each other a lot. And so that was a little bit of a false rumor out there. I just wanted to correct it, frankly, because we have great respect for everything you're doing.
Man, President Trump is kind of like the negotiator, the businessman, like, why y'all ask me all these questions and I'm not going to even tell you the real answers? Okay, is it catastrophic to not take an interview with this man and get it done over with? But the lawyer who looks like Melissa McCarthy in disguise, you could fool me twice, lawyer. Lawyer don't want Trump to tell too much because Trump's already telling too much and he don't even know it. All right. Speaking of Trump had to blast Jay-Z over what Jay-Z had said about him. And Jay-Z appeared on the Van Jones show to talk about everything from Beyonce, himself and his career, and politics. Take a look.
The other freedom I see in the album is just a freedom for couples who have gone through something.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing. You know, it's almost a cliche, you know, the celebrity couple, you know, they get together, they break up, you know, I'm like, well, who else are they going to go out with? But for some reason, you took an unprecedented stand to fight for this marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to fight for it and to put it all out there. What is it about this marriage that's so special that you would fight this hard to save it?
Well, it's my soulmate. It's the person I love, you know. And you can be in love with someone. You can love someone and if you haven't experienced love and you don't understand it and you don't have the tools to move forward, then you're gonna have complications, period. And if you can either address it or you can pretend until it blows up at some point. And, you know, for us, we chose to fight for our love, for our family, to give our kids a different outcome. You see, you know, to break that cycle. For black men and women, you know, to see a different outcome. Like you were saying, it's not this celebrity couple. We were never a celebrity couple. We were a couple who just happened to be celebrities.
That's beautiful.
Like real people.
Yeah. What advice would you have for men who have caused pain in marriages? I mean, it's easy. I mean, somebody like you.
The best apology is change behavior, right? But change behavior, one. And then also you have to, you know, you have to acknowledge. You have to acknowledge the pain. You have to let that person have their say. You have to get on the floor, get on the mattress, and you have to really work through it and really be honest. And no matter how many times, it takes a while. It's hard. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to hear, difficult to say. It's difficult to, you know, to listen to that sort of pain. And you just have to be strong enough. You have to be strong enough to go through that, because on the other side is beautiful. You know, in our case,
that's a level of strength really on both sides. I mean, if the shoe had been on the other foot, you know, if the transgressions had been on her side, do you think you would be able to be as forgiving of her as she was of you?
I hope. Again, because I love her the same way. No matter what side, I love her the same way. I pray that I will, because her strength and her, you know, man, she's the strongest woman I know. Like her and my mother, they battling for number one.
Beautiful, beautiful. You know, I just want to say to you, you are blazing a trail, you know, for a lot of us to follow. But, you know, financially, culturally, you know, the idea of confession could save so much pain and suffering in politics and every place else. I honor you. You know, one of the guys said, you know, just make sure to ask him before he leaves, you know, is he in the Illuminati? And I said, no, I'm not going to ask that, but are you?
I'm in the new Illuminati.
That's good. Let's give it up for Sean Jay-Z Carter. First guest on the Van Jones Show.
One thing Jay-Z said about himself, he got 99 problems, but his name one. Hit me. And President Trump made himself relevant than ever before, calling out Jay-Z. But a lot of people were saying, why didn't he call out Eminem when Eminem was doing that loudful, bashful tirade on him? Is Donald Trump being whitewashed? Who knows? He don't want to speak on Eminem because Eminem will get him together in a minute. Man. All right. Let's Hulk Hogan. Everyone knows who Hulk Hogan is. He's a wrestler from WWE. He took WWE from small region to the prominence with his name. Well, Hulk Hogan decided to fool people as being a wax figure. Take a look.
Yo.
getting ready to tear Madame Tussauds down today because all these other wax figures, they're all gonna faint when they see my new wax figure.
Man, that looks realistic.
What the?
Oh my God.
Well, he was governor, you know.
No,
No, sports man.
No, you're thinking of.
No, up in the.
That was that jabroni, Jesse Ventura.
It's you.
Oh my
Yo, maniacs, Hulk Hogan here, greatest of all times. What you gonna do when Madame Tussauds and Hulk Hogan's Beat Shop run wild on you, brother?
Man, Hulk Hogan ain't playing. Hulk Hogan is scaring folks to death with his wax pretend operation and stuff. Man, Hulk. What you say, brother? Do the big boot. No, Hogan punches. Boom, boom, and then you sit over there, wham, and it drops you down and hit that, they talking about leg drop, and it's the 1, 2, 3, it's over. Hogan wins again. Hogan must pose. Hogan must pose. Hogan must pose. Yes, Hogan indeed must pose. All right, in sports news, Kyrie Irving wanted to get traded. He threatened to have knee surgery if he stayed with the Cavs. Now, take a look what First Take had to say about that. Take a look.
Loving LeBron, I do have a problem with a player getting into another player's business and trying to redirect his career. Advocating for guys to come on and sign, and that is fine. But if a guy wants to leave and take his talents elsewhere, as LeBron took his talents to South Beach, somehow interjecting and going behind his back to the front office and saying, don't trade him, like, I don't like that. I don't like when guys speak out if a football player is holding out and someone on the roster says, well, we need him in here. Like, those are the type of things that I don't appreciate. You let a guy do his business, you don't get in the way of it. If LeBron wanted to go and talk to Kyrie and try to talk him out of leaving, that's one thing. But going to the front office behind his back and saying, don't trade him, like, I don't respect that. And I as underhanded as it may be to threaten to have knee surgery, I'm fine with using whatever leverage that you can, because players don't have much leverage in professional sports.
Who looks worse, the guy running away from the burning house or the guy standing in the middle of the burning house with a match in his hand? I would imagine the guy with the match in his hand. That's LeBron in this scenario. Kyrie got out of the burning house. Now, I was really, really critical of Kyrie for various reasons, mostly, pseudoscience and looking down his nose at us and acting like we're all dumb. But Kyrie, I've also begun to understand a little bit. I think I've said it on First Take. I know I've said it on the Will Cain Show. I've begun to understand his explanation of, I just want to be realized as a basketball player. I want to realize my full potential. And the kind of basketball we were playing in Cleveland and my role wasn't how I envisioned, me as a fully actualized player. And I get that. I get that, Kyrie. I get what you're talking about. And I think it makes the decision to go to Boston much more, or at least to get out of Cleveland, much more understandable. And what did he leave? He left an organization that right now, it's funny, we have these debates, and a week later I get to use as evidence the way I was right a week ago. But it's not normal. It's not normal what's going on in Cleveland. This isn't a normal winter, January, February swoon in Cleveland. Set aside that it's awful defense. It's fingers being pointed, it's blame, it's escape routes being planned, and whose fault is it? And it's just a mess what's happening in Cleveland. And if you don't think LeBron's a big part of that, then you're just an apologist. I like LeBron. Dominique, I love the story. By the way, just because I think Tom's is a better sports story, I love LeBron's story. But I don't think he's faultless. And when it comes to the Cleveland drama, he's integral. And Kyrie saw it and hightailed it.
Yeah, he's not faultless, and no one is faultless in this situation. But where I take issue with what you're saying is that somehow you had a problem with what Kyrie was doing when he was trying to get his way out. But now that you see that it's falling apart in Cleveland, somehow that justifies Kyrie's decision. No, he wanted to take his career in the direction that he wanted to take his career, and that's fine. You only get one chance to kind of live out your dream, and these guys are fortunate enough to be in the NBA, and he wants to fully test himself and go out on his own away from LeBron and not have LeBron pull the strings behind the scenes. Like, I respect that whether Cleveland is burning down or not. And I do, as I mentioned before, I don't like when players get into other players' business and limit how much money they can make or limit their mobility. Like, players should encourage and support any type of player empowerment. So as much as LeBron is about player empowerment, I think he's about LeBron empowerment overall. And that's why I look at this situation and I think he is more at fault than anything. But overall, Dan Gilbert's to blame. I don't know why, but just blame Dan Gilbert when you're not sure who else to blame.
Yeah, because the Cavs had 2 years left, Kyrie on his contract. LeBron had 1. Let it play out. See if LeBron's going to leave, and then call Kyrie's bluff. Like, he's really going to have surgery if you make him stay. Come on.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Dan Gilbert can't control that. And look what Kyrie saw. Look at this. Kevin Love is at fault for everything, like he always is apparently in Cleveland. By the way, if somebody needs to get out, it's Kevin Love. Kevin, quit being their punching bag. Don't be their scapegoat.
I've been arguing
it's
that
not your fault.
We talk about in the NBA how there's so many heel turns, how Westbrook goes from villain to we love him, and LeBron goes from we love him to villain back to we love him. Like, I'm waiting for the Kevin Love heel turn. I'm really rooting for this. Like, I don't like how everyone piles on him in the media. I want him to look directly into the camera and snap and go off on everybody in the Cleveland roster, because like they act as if he wasn't the one who defended Steph Curry at the top of the key. They act as if he went in the championship to help them win. They act as if he hasn't been an invaluable part of this process. Like, I hate the way that because again, back to this player empowerment, I don't like people going behind his back. Like, I want him to fully snap and go off and tell everybody from LeBron all up and down that roster how valuable he is and how he's not going to stand for this, and he is not the problem with that team. And it bothers me to no end how it seems that they throw him under the bus.
Oh, man, that's all you got to do to get an ultimatum and stuff? You threaten folks like, I'll sit out the whole entire season with this knee surgery, and I'm going to play for a year. I'm going to get traded. So Kyrie Irving, now a guard for Boston, is he going to do the same? He going to hijack Boston and tell them one day, I don't want to play no more. I'm going to have knee surgery. Okay, you signed a multi-time year deal with us, so have your knee surgery. Do out when the season's over with, then you can come back down the road if you can make it in time. All right, let's go over to Newsies. On Newsies this week, CNN's Chris Cuomo wanted to know, is the White House testing new claims on the economy? You want to hear to believe, just take a little and watch for yourself.
Monday morning dose of facts first, as caffeinated as coffee. So President Trump loves to point to the economy, specifically the stock market, as proof of his performance. And he says that the recent success is all because of him. His Director of Legislative Affairs, Mark Short, took that case to the Sunday shows. Here's a sample.
There are a lot of people who said the president couldn't create 2 million jobs in the first year, who said we wouldn't see unemployment at a 17-year low, who said we wouldn't see GDP at 3%, who also said that after the tax relief package in 1 month, 3.1 million Americans, 3.1 million workers have either received a pay increase or a bonus.
All right, beautiful example. Let's take it point by point. The economy added 2 million jobs in 2017. Is that true? Yes. But that's not a great number. In fact, 2017 sticks out as a low point. Take a look at the facts. 2014, 3 million jobs. 2015, 2.7 million jobs. 2016, 2.2 million jobs. You notice how they're going down? That was expected. Why? Because you were coming off of a boosted recovery. And when you have long-term change like that, it is going to taper. So you certainly can't sell 2017's performance as anything earth-shattering. All right, next point. GDP growth, 3%. This is just not true. How do we know? The Bureau of Economic Analysis. The actual GDP, 2.3%. How does that line up? Average. Places 2017 11th in GDP growth out of the last 20 years. All right, next point. 3 million Americans have either received a pay increase or a bonus, and it's all thanks to Trump's tax cut. This is more complex. Let's look at it this way. Some of the companies that boosted pay, let's look at Walmart. They did. They also laid off 8,000 workers right around the same time, according to Reuters. Comcast, another big company that was making headlines, granted $1,000 bonuses to 100,000 employees. But it did fire 500 of its managers across multiple states. AT&T, same thing. $1,000 bonuses to 200,000 employees, but 4,000 layoffs at the same time. And in one case, Wells Fargo breathlessly thanked Trump for his tax cut and for its wage hike, but then it flip-flopped on whether it was because of the tax cut or part of a pre-existing plan. What we need to know there is what percentage of the tax savings that these companies are getting are they then passing on to labor as opposed to shareholders. That'll be an important stat. When I get it, you'll get it. Unemployment, 17-year low. True, 4.1%. But remember this.
The phony unemployment rate. The unemployment rate is probably 20%.
They say 5.3% unemployment. The number's probably 32%.
When you hear 4.9 and 5% unemployment, the number's probably 28, 29, as high as 35.
You know what? I agree with the president. Every economist would. Why? Because he's referring to what is a little bit of a deception when it comes to unemployment, all right? And Christine Romans is so good on this. If you do a Google search, she lays it out so well. He's really talking about the U6, underemployment, temp workers who don't, yes, they're working, but they have less hours, less money. The work market has shifted. So to just look at this one unemployment factor is often misleading, all right? So he was right about that, but now he's owning it. It's so interesting. Every White House, for as long as we can remember, says we're responsible for everything that we get. But when Obama did that, Trump said the numbers were phony. Now he's using the same numbers, making the same case. I thought he was supposed to be different. Economists say this level of unemployment, okay, what we see with this level of unemployment versus the wage growth, which is 2.5%, it's not where it should be. Wages should be going up more. That's what we focus on. Not just Wall Street, Main Street. Those are the facts.
Man, is the White House claiming all this stuff like the economy is great, the economy is booming, the economy is rolling. You never would believe the economy is on track. Well, since when they did these tax cuts and then the corporations started saying that, for example, Walmart was saying that they was going to raise people's wages up, and they did, and then now there's a ripple effect that Sam's Clubs are closing down. It's kind of like you win some, you lose some, so nobody ain't winning in the end. So who benefiting from this? The fat cats, the corporations. That's going to always benefit for them. They say that, but then they don't really mean it. All right. And finally, the viral video of the week. When I saw this video, I'm telling you, when I saw it, I had to look at it multiple times. I had to look at it so many times. I thought to myself, like, this cannot be for real. This got to be generated or something like that. But this is actually real. This rat decided to go rogue and decided to take a bath with soap and knew how to clean himself. You won't believe. Take a look.
Tchau preguiça, tchau sujeira, adeus cheirinho de suor. Lá, 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 moreio, moreio, trorelho, trorelho. Lava, 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 lava a testa, a bochecha, lava o queixo, lava a coxa, lava até.
When I saw this, I couldn't fathom the fact that because you wouldn't think a rat wouldn't think about cleaning himself like that with soap, and then he just doing this, he's doing this, and he cleaning himself with soap like an average person. Is this rat a person that was dead as a human and came out of life as a rat and knew that he needed to clean himself because that's what he was accustomed to. He knew that, and now he came back as a rat. Oh my God, he cleaned himself. I never seen this before. I believe the rat thing is the funniest thing I ever seen in my life, because instead of being a stinking, nasty, filthy, dirty rat all the time, he decided to clean himself. And many people, y'all chimed in. Look at these messages on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the Twitterverse, these social media accounts. Y'all love this rat. This rat must be having something y'all have. Alright, that is the take for this week. I hope you all celebrate Black History Month as we here on Connect TV doing. Follow us on the Take hashtag, follow us on Connect TV, and subscribe. But thank you all, and I hope you enjoyed the first day of Black History Month. Thank you, and we're out on the Take.